Thank you all for being here today. I want to say thank you to the panelists for their time, their energy, and the information they'll be sharing today. We have just started this programming, and there's so much valuable information that has been emergent over time, and just sort of things that we've learned from the attendees as well as the presenters, and just getting to the core of some of the work that we think is super important for students. So attendees, feel free to ask any questions. You can type them in the chat, and then we will make sure that they are moved forward into a space so that the presenters can ask or address them. But they also will be sharing a lot of really fun, detailed information that I think is going to be super useful. Also, as we move along, presenters, feel free to take some time and if you feel like there's something that you need to ask of me, feel free to open up that space for us to sort of dig deeper into and figure out like how to be helpful. And so now just to open up the space for us together, if you will take a moment just to think about like the land that you're on, and think about the people who are there, the community that you live in, and the people that you're bringing in with you today, your ancestors, all the people that come along with you in your workspace and in your student space, and acknowledge them and let them be relevant so that they can be helpful to the learning that we have to take away today and the things that we should probably see. All right, so with that, thank you again for joining. This is our graduate school programming. We're focusing on business school graduate programs, not necessarily just MBAs, because there are a variety of different programs that live within the business space. I have, I guess, what I would call a business graduate degree in organizational development, and it wasn't listed as a business program, but we did spend a lot of time on learning a little bit more of like how does that sort of work into dialogue of change for organizations and businesses, which is sort of the conversation that many of the programming that happens within the business administration and management and other fields sort of dig deeper into. So I will, without further ado, turn it over to, let me check to see if Sogol is joined, and then if not, I'll give it to Rachel to start us off. So I'm gonna just surprise Rachel with that and let her know that you are up, Rachel.
Okay. I don't know. We recently, I'm not exactly sure from, what I had talked to you a little bit about, Jack, is you mentioned like sharing our program and, what we're doing. We actually started a new MBA program at the school that I work at, which is Sitting Bull College on Standing Rock Indian Reservation. And what's unique about us, I mean, there's actually, everybody is unique, but what's unique about us is we are on the North Dakota and the South Dakota border. And with that, we're also very rural. So when we have a large amount of rural space, we have a relatively small population. Our goal with our new MBA program has been to bring businesses into a small community and hopefully be more sustainable with small business. So we've really focused on trying to create new businesses, give students ideas within our MBA program and tailor it to our area. Like I said, we're relatively new. We just started fall of 2019. And needless to say, with COVID, it has really been a trial. I don't want to say trial by error, but we would go from block classes that are face-to-face to move it online, to back to block classes face-to-face to online, to like now I have students that are in seminar, which basically they're working on their thesis. So it's been just really kind of interesting since since our whole plan of implementation has not followed any of our plans, so to speak. And that's just kind of a quick summary of kind of about us and what we have been working on. But you know, we one good thing is we're looking at having 7 graduates, which I really find an accomplishment. Since we started with 16, and we've had a few people that have you know, dropped off, but I still have 11 people in the program, even with all kind of the, you know, kind of the chaosness. And plus, you know, it being a pilot group, it's just been really kind of interesting. But overall, I feel it has been a success. And I have 7, like I said, I have 7 wonderful people graduating this spring.
Awesome. Rachel, can you share information about like how people can apply to your program and how do they find it? And maybe like if there's a type of student that you're looking for?
Our information is on our website. When people, there's the basic school application process, but then they go through me to submit the stuff that they need for you know, particulars, so to speak. You know, we have some writing basics. You have to have, you know, like a letter of application. You have to have like a work, you know, a work history, and how this would be a good fit to you. So they have, you know, some other things that they have to do aside from just applying and sending their transcripts. But you know, initially everything is on our website, and you know, if anybody has any questions, they've been referred to me. And what I've been doing is, you know, I'll just email students, you know, kind of just the summary of our program and how it works. And I've been telling them, you know, we do the block class format. So like I said, a lot of them I have talked to, you know, once they, you know, go to the website, then I work with them individually.
Okay, great. I just put the link into the chat box for people, and I'll actually insert your email as well. So thank you for that information. And
Yes,
just so you all know,
oh, I'm sorry. Yes, my email is great, and I always tell students I do check it on weekends too. So I usually try to tell everybody, you know, I expect less than a 24-hour turnaround time.
Great, thank you. And just attendees know that Sitting Bull College is a tribal college and university, one of the 37 that exist within the United States. And they do offer a great support system for students who are Native, and they have a very the integrative approach to sort of thinking about the way that curriculum sort of comes to fruition when thinking about cultural context and responsivity, and how programming and the definition of programs sort of come to fruition. So I just want to sort of add that plug. It's one of our charges to sort of acknowledge the tribal college universities in any way that we can. So Rachel, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Next, let me see here. Believe, Mariana, do you want to go ahead and step in since I had you originally in this space?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Great.
So I prepared some slides. So is that okay if I share the presentation?
Yes.
Great, thank you. Let's just do that. Okay. Are you able to see the slides?
Yes.
Great. So my name is Marina McDonald, and I'm here to talk a little bit about the doctoral programs offered at Harvard Business School here in Boston. And I will start the presentation with our mission that we are very proud of. The mission of the doctoral programs at HBS is to educate scholars who make a difference in the world through rigorous academic research that influences practice. And this connection to practice is very important throughout the doctoral studies that we offer. As our faculty members, they constantly engage with corporations, organizations, and then faculty and students interact with the broader HBS alumni network. So we are looking for students who are interested in a career in research and who are interested in doing research that has this practical application. So it's not just sitting in an ivory tower where you just do research surrounded by papers on your own. That's where you do research by working with all the different people surrounding you, and then you apply this research on practice. And then the PhD programs that we offer, they are all joined with the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences at Harvard University. So when you are a student at HBS, you also become a member of the HBS, as well as the broader Graduate School of Arts and Sciences community. So students at HBS, they represent different diverse backgrounds. So it's degrees, undergraduate schools, disciplines, and that includes different areas such as psychology, sociology, business information systems, engineering, and many others. We offer 7 different programs, and I will talk a little bit about each program that we offer. So under the business administration umbrella, we offer 4 different programs. Accounting and management is the one where students will oftentimes focus on either managerial or financial accounting. And then within our marketing program, we have 2 tracks. One is consumer behavior track. This is where students are getting ground in psychology as they work to determine what and how consumers behave and then interact with the markets. And then the second track that we have is quantitative marketing program. And that's the one where students use more of quantitative-based skills as they determine how different organizations can become more competitive within the markets that they are in. Then strategy is a great program for someone where you can look at how organizations work to remain competitive within the markets that they're in as well. Strategy also has a lot of overlap with our technology and operations management program, especially in the innovation track. So this is where students draw on economics, strategy, entrepreneurship, and then we have a second track, which is operations track within this program. And this is where students use mathematical programming, computer science techniques as they examine and improve the performance of firms. Then in addition to the business administration program, we do have a program in business economics. This one is joined with the economics department at Harvard University Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. So students in the business economics program are asked to select primary field when they are applying. And we often group our applicants into 2 different tracks. One is finance, and the other one is applied economics. And then within the applied economics, there is also a variety of different fields that you can select from. For example, industrial organization, labor, development, macroeconomics, and then a number of others. Then the next program is health policy. This program is interfaculty and it is joined with a number of schools. So this is HBS, the Kennedy School of Government, Chan School of Public Health, Harvard Medical School, and then the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. This program is very interdisciplinary. And then the management track within this program is housed at HBS. The program prepares our students to kind of impact change that is rooted in data-driven research, and that is on operational issues, strategic issues, and then managerial issues that organizations are facing. Then in our organizational behavior program, we do have 2 tracks. We ask that you select either the macro track, so that's where the grounding is in sociology, or the micro track, and that's where the grounding is in psychology. Went a bit too far. So in terms of financial aid, the beauty of the programs is that they are all fully funded. So what this means is that when you apply to the programs, if you are selected, you automatically get the fellowship that covers all of the expenses. So you do not have to submit a separate application to qualify for this funding. And what that means is that your tuition will be covered for up to 5 years. You will be getting an annual stipend, and for this academic year, it is $43,860, and that increases slightly every year. And then it also covers health insurance for up to 5 years. And if a student is coming with a family, we also have additional funds to cover the insurance for the family members as well. Then we provide research funding. And what that means is that if you are looking for access to data, we will kind of provide funding to purchase that data. And then for conference funding, we provide funding for whether you attend the conference or also attend and present. So if you present, the funding is slightly higher for that. We also provide office space for every student, and that office space is on campus. And also we provide the students with the laptop computer, and if you're looking for a Mac, we will work to get you a Mac. And if you're looking, to get an HP computer, we will kind of look into that. And these computers are upgraded on a 3-year cycle. So talking about the life of a PhD student, it is slightly, well, actually, it's a lot different from the life of the MBA student. We normally say that it takes an average 5 years to complete the program, when sometimes you don't know how long the research might take. So sometimes it also takes between 5 and 6 years to graduate from the program. So in an MBA program, as many of you might know, at HBS, for example, it is a 2-year program. Year 1, you take required courses, then you do an internship at an organization in the summer. Then year 2 is you take a lot of kind of courses that you decide to take, and then you graduate. With a PhD program, it works very different. And the way that it starts is everyone starts on the same day. It's August 1st of every year. And as you start, you are working on a research project with a faculty member at HBS. And then the reason why we have everyone start on the same day is whether you're coming with years of experience or you're coming straight from an undergraduate degree, we kind of want everyone to have the same introduction to research in academia. And as you start working on this research, you continue working on this research project throughout the fall semester, as you also start taking doctoral level coursework. This doctoral level coursework prepares you for the comprehensive or field exam, depending on the program that you're in. And then you also are starting to attend different seminars. And this is where faculty from HBS, as well as from other schools, they present information on the topics of research that they're working on. So it's a great introduction to see how that is done in your field of interest. And then you continue working on research towards a publishable quality second year paper. And then in the second year, we you start moving along and forward in your research agenda. You also take in year 3 and 4, this is where we see a bit of a transition. You take MBA level courses. So you take 2 MBA classes, and this is to kind of allow you to see how faculty take their research and how they weave that research into their teaching. So it's a great way to also see how they do that, as well as how MBA students ask questions differently from the PhD level students. You also start collaborating with other faculty members and with students on writing papers, as well as working on a sole authored research project. And that's where you attend different conferences and work on the dissertation proposal. And dissertation proposal is it's like a roadmap that you develop together with your faculty member, a faculty advisor. And this is so that you both have a best plan to move forward. And then in year 5, that's where you go onto the job market and can defend your dissertation and then graduate from the program. In terms of student support, I would say that the most important piece of support that you will get is your faculty advisors. You will have one main faculty advisor, and then you also would work with more than one faculty advisor. And if another faculty member joins HBS, you are welcome to reach out to them and then see if they might be interested in working with you and provide you guidance throughout the doctoral studies. And these faculty advisors, they're not there to just teach courses and kind of help you that way. They also serve as collaborators on your research. They mentor you throughout the doctoral studies towards individual research. So definitely they are the best resource that you can use while in the program. Then we do have our student-centric programs office. That's where I am located, and that's where my team is located. And we are in the same building where first-year students have office space, so that they can come to us for support, bounce ideas off of us, have conversations, and then we are there to provide the students with the guidance. When it comes to research support, there is a lot of resources available as well. Our research librarians at Baker Library, for example, are there to help you figure out how to purchase data sets if you need that, or how to negotiate with companies about getting access to that data. Then research computing services, they provide consultative services to our students and faculty to kind of help you understand how to best manage the data that you have and how to analyze that data. And then behavioral research services are there for those who are experimentalists. So that's where we have a lab with 36-seat computers, and then that's where faculty can experiment with a subject pool, faculty and students. And then Center for Writing and Communication is there to help you put your wonderful ideas on paper. And then the Institute for Quantitative Social Sciences is the university's largest research center that our students also have access to. And then there is a number of teaching and learning centers that you can access as well. In terms of placement of our students, the majority of them do go on to academic placement, so they work as professors in academia. And about 79% go on to academia. Then we are looking at about 18% going into the private sector, and that is consulting, tech, or finance organizations. And then about 3% are in these quasi-academic positions where they work for NGOs or organizations like Federal Reserve, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and they might be doing research there and kind of teaching a little bit at the same time, or they would go into these organizations and then come back into academic placement after a few years. I will briefly talk about the application requirements as well. So we have one application cycle per year, and the deadline remains the same. It is December 1st at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And our students apply through the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences portal at Harvard University. And what we ask for is, first is your statement of purpose, because that's how we get to know you, and that's where we can kind of learn about who you are. That's where you will talk about your research interests and experience to date. You will talk about why you would like to apply to a doctoral program, why at HBS, and why now is the right time for you to apply. And keep in mind that there's a limit of 1,000 words when you do write this statement of purpose. The great news, though, is that in your resume that we also require, there is no page limit. So anything that you're not able to fit into the statement of purpose, you are able to put into the resume. Then we do ask for transcripts. Those transcripts, they are from any undergraduate, graduate degrees, any summer schools, any study abroad that you might have done. We will be asking for those. For standardized testing, we ask for either GRE or GMAT. We do not have a preference between the two tests. So if you are applying broadly and if other schools have strict requirements, make sure just to, you can take that test and then submit it to us. We normally see scores in the 80th percentile or higher from successful applicants, but that is not to say that if you have a score that is lower than that, that would just put your application in a different pile. We still turn to the rest of the materials and we try to evaluate you broadly, and then that's how we make decisions. Then we also do ask for 3 letters of recommendation, and we do have a very strong preference for faculty letters. So just think of who knows you best. Talk to those people, tell them what you are applying, what the selection committee is looking for, and then the faculty members will be able to continue telling your story to us. So they will be your advocates for why you should be the person who should be accepted into the program. So some of the next steps is identifying your interests. If you are considering business school and if you are considering a doctoral program, I strongly recommend that you go to the DocNet website. And DocNet is the consortium of business schools, and that's where you are able to look at the number of different schools that offer similar programs. Note that some of them have the same program, but it has a very different name. So pay attention to that, but it's a wonderful resource. And then start engaging with research. So look for research opportunities in your area. If you have the ability to take a doctoral level course, this might also be beneficial. Start looking at academic articles and reading those articles to see what that kind of writing is like. And also subscribe to working paper series, which we do have at HBS. So that's how you stay up to date on the type of research that faculty are working on. And then connecting to community is also important. So talking to faculty that you know, attending a research talks, and I think nowadays a lot of them can be attended virtually, which makes it a little bit easier. And then connect with PhD graduates. If you know of someone who attended a PhD program, pick their brain and see why they decided to do that, would they do it all over again, and whether they enjoy this career in academia. And then a few ways to prepare for the HBS doctoral programs, as well as other programs out there, is looking into becoming a research associate. So research staff services at HBS, they evaluate the needs of faculty as they work on research projects, and then they help to recruit, hire, and onboard these research associates for faculty members. So if you go to this website here on the slide, you will be able to learn a little bit more about this opportunity, and then you can reach out to them if this is something that you might be interested in. And then PRIMO program, which is a program for research in markets and organizations. This is just to mention, this is just for undergraduate students who are current undergraduate students. So rising sophomores, juniors, or seniors who are in good standing at an American undergraduate institution. And this program is offered in the summer. So it is 10 weeks in the summer. And that's where fellows work with HBS faculty members on a research project. So it's kind of like an introduction to research in business academia. And the applications normally open in the beginning of January, and then they're due sometime mid-February. So this year the deadline has passed, but reach out to me if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to talk to you as I manage this program. I know there was a lot of information, so if you have any questions or if something does not make sense, feel free to email this address here on the screen. And a team of us, we're constantly checking this email and responding. We try to do that within 48 hours, but send your questions, and thank you so much for your attention.
Great, thank you, Marina. I appreciate that. We'll move over to the next presenter, which is Scott Hensley from Southern Methodist University.
Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it. This is actually kind of well timed. This is going to be some similarities to what you just heard, but I'm going to focus on our specialized business master's degrees. No slides, just going to hang out with you for a few minutes. Feel free to ask any questions in chat or however we want to do that. Where I thought I could add value is briefly talk about our programs, but then sort of piggyback on the previous presenter and just kind of give some general tips and thoughts. I did my undergrad education here. I also did grad school as well. So I'm kind of familiar with being on both sides of this table. But today we'll talk about just quickly our four specialized master's programs. So unlike a doctoral program, this is typically designed for someone coming straight through undergrad, and they're 1 school year in length. So you would start in August and graduate in May, although you can do them part-time, and that would just stretch out the timeline into 2 school years rather than 1. Okay, so that's kind of setting the scene for this is a 1 school year, highly specialized master's degree. The reason I say specialized is because of the 4 that we offer. You'll notice they're highly specialized in specific areas of business. So we have a master's of accounting, we have master's of finance, we have master's of business analytics, and then we have master's of management, which is essentially a broad 1-year management degree. So I think one of the things as you all start thinking about graduate school is you want to think about, obviously, what she just said previously. What do you want to do? And I know that can be a very heavy question at times, right? But you really want to start to drive where do you want to work and where do you want to live as you start thinking about graduate school, because a lot of graduate school recruiting happens regionally in the part of the country that you're in, right? So we do recruit nationally. A lot of the schools you might hear from do recruit nationally, but it typically starts in your own backyard. And so think about the type of work you want to do and where you want to live. So accounting, highly specialized, right? So Masters of Accounting is exactly what it sounds like. You're taking every MBA level accounting course packaged into a 1-year degree. And the people that want to do that typically want to sit for the CPA as well. So that's a degree like the other ones I'm going to talk about. You really need to know kind of where you want to be in business. If you're not sure yet, a specialized master's degree signals to the market, this is what I'm specializing in. I've done heavy graduate level coursework in this specific area. You don't want to go down that road and spend all the time and resources getting a degree and then say, well, I think I want to go do marketing, because your resume is going to scream, well, you got your master's in accounting. What do you mean you don't want to be an accountant anymore? So you got to be careful with these specialized degrees that you have a pretty good idea that, yes, I want to specialize in accounting. Now, the other thing you want to be careful of when you're looking at programs is prerequisites, right? So our accounting program is the only one of the 4 that I mentioned. You have to have taken at least 2 undergrad accounting courses to be eligible to apply for the program. So when you're looking at other programs, not just ours, but everybody, make sure you understand, are there prerequisites? Sometimes there are, sometimes there aren't. So make sure you know that ahead of time. Also, there sometimes are required majors or preferred majors. We don't have that. So some schools say you must be an undergrad business major, or you can't have been an undergrad business major. Make sure you know kind of, but school by school that you're applying to, are there certain nuances to these specialized masters, these 1-year master's degrees that you need to meet before you go into it? Okay. So finance is another one of ours, exactly similar to accounting. It's all the MBA level finance courses, again, packaged into a 1-year degree. You'll also notice that we package a industry certification, just like with our accounting degree. We do the same thing with finance. CFA, lots of acronyms, I know. Certified Financial Analyst is kind of the industry standard for finance. So that's what we prep you for with that advanced master's degree in finance. By the end, most of my students are sitting for CFA level 1. So again, heavy finance, very specialized in finance. All the MBA level courses you would be taking packaged into a 1-year degree. Okay. Analytics is the same thing. Same concept as the first 2. So again, highly specialized in one specific area of business, in this case, Masters of Business Analytics. And then lastly, it's kind of the opposite of the other 3. Masters of Management is going to be very broad. It's essentially the first year of the MBA program. Okay. So it's broad. It's not highly specialized in one area. It's the opposite. It's taking operations, management, accounting, strategy, marketing, packaged into a 1-year degree. These, again, are designed for people potentially coming straight through undergrad. You do not need work experience to do these programs. Make sure you're aware of that requirement when you're looking at schools as well. MBA programs typically require, 3+ years of work experience, and then you come back and finish. But a lot of specialized masters, even doctoral programs, do not require work experience. Ours do not. It's helpful, but it's not required. So I wanted to kind of close with a couple of thoughts, just generally helping you all as you sort of navigate thinking about graduate business school. One is obviously do your homework on what the requirements are. Test scores like GMATs and GREs, those are kind of up in the air right now. A lot of them with the pandemic are optional. A lot of them have gone away, and there's been some pretty big schools that have said, we don't think we're going to bring them back, at least not anytime soon. So, and some schools are still requiring them. So make sure you know what the requirements are, know school by school, what you need as part of the application process. Easiest way to do that is reach out to somebody like one of us here. It's literally our job. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Email us. Set up a virtual tour if you can, or if you can be on campus, you always do that. Ask admissions people for help. That's what we're here for. Ask about requirements. Ask about things like scholarship. That's a big deal too, right? Ask those questions so you come in better prepared for when you want to fill out that application, because you don't want to do unnecessary steps. Everybody's different. I can go through my application process. You heard one a second ago. Very similar, but like I don't require letters of recommendation. I just require references. like a job reference, a person we could contact if we wanted to. We are not requiring GMAT or GRE right now. That's waived for us for at least for this year, probably for the foreseeable future. Couple short essays, unofficial transcripts, all that kind of stuff. Usually takes our applicants about an hour to finish the application because they don't have to take the exam right now. The exam for us really is more of a scholarship driver. So if you can take the test and score well, that's going to be only of benefit to you. But again, know what the school is doing from what they're requiring in the application. How do scholarships work? Meaning, are they merit-based? Are they need-based? How does that happen? For us, it's automatic when you apply. Scholarship is automatic as part of the submission of the application. But again, every school is different. I get a lot of questions. Well, what box do I need to check? Do I need to write extra essays? It really just depends on the school. So ask those questions. Usually you can find the admissions landing page with an email for that particular program. I would highly advise you all set up a call, Zoom or otherwise, or at least send an email with some basic questions. Most of the applications are online these days, so kind of do your homework ahead of time and then come to an admissions person with questions. We do online events all the time. We do 1 or 2 a month. We're planning on being back in person in the fall. We'll see how that goes, but we're hopeful for that. But again, I think the thing that I didn't do going into grad, I applied online. I read the application, I filled it out, I did the test scores, and I turned it in. I didn't do what you all are doing today, which is, schedule some time with an admissions person, ask a lot of questions about the process, the scholarship, the timing, because every school is going to be different and you want to be well prepared because it's a huge decision, right? You want to go to the place that fits you academically, it fits you socially, it fits what you want to do with your career. So don't be afraid to ask an admissions person, hey, what's going on in the Career Center? What are you guys doing? Where are people going after graduation? Ask to talk to the Career Center if you want to, if that's something that's important to you. So I was trying to look in the, and I didn't see any questions, but if anybody has questions on application processes, tips, obviously our programs at SMU, but even just generally any questions, I'm always happy to answer them. Feel free to, Jack, feel free to send out my email to anybody that's interested. I'm always happy to talk to you about our programs, but also as a former graduate student myself, I'm happy to just navigate what that scene looks like for you, if that's helpful.
Scott, there was one question before this one from Heritage University. Could you give a hour count in reference to the 1-year degree program that you mentioned?
Sure. So the hour count for a 1-year master's degree, you get 2 credit hours per course, and it's typically a 15 course load for a master's degree. So that's 30 credit hours total.
And so that would be 15 classes they would have to take to complete within that year.
Correct. Yeah,
okay.
And we're on a quarter system, or what we like to call a module system. So rather than semesters, you're on quarters. That's how we get those many classes in.
And before you answer this more specifically, I do want to let you know too, for Heritage University, for your question, one of our former board members for the American Indian College Fund is actually one of the leads within the diversity initiative at SMU. So he is probably a great resource for Native student support more than the university itself, but he is also he bends over backwards to be very supportive. I'll insert his email into this chat as well. But I'll let Scott talk a little bit more about like what other services are available. And I did plug in the graduate student services portal so that you can see that. But they're, as we're promoting, Native specific programming is for student support is great, but some institutions don't have it, but they do have a staff that's fully capable of being helpful. So I think that's one point that Scott made, is that they're hired to be there to be supportive. I'll let him.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I think we don't have anything specific just for Native students, but we do have a diversity and inclusion office that's going to manage. So Steve, that was the person that you mentioned. Steve Denson is who runs our diversity office, and he's going to know about things like scholarship opportunities beyond just the merit-based ones that everyone's considered for when they apply. But that's definitely something that wherever you decide to go, you want to get connected with that office as well, because they may be aware of different initiatives inside the campus as well as external third parties that they've partnered with in some way, that they may be able to say, look, this is not directly tied to SMU, but you and your background and can benefit from this and can apply for this. And so people like Steve Denson, in my case, know a lot of these external parties that are outside of SMU that we can connect you with and are happy to more partner with as you look for what the right fit for you is and what kind of opportunities and support we can offer you. And that's all I had.
Great. Thank you. I'm plugging Steve's email there, and I'll add Scott's here as well.
Perfect.
So,
thanks so much.
To our next presenter, Nate, I'm sorry. Forgetting your name there for a second.
That's okay. Thanks, Jack. I'm going to
Thank you.
share my screen here. I just have a couple slides for you. Appreciate you having us today. Scott shared a lot of great information that's going to be very relatable to our programs. Be talking about our graduate programs, talk directly about our specialized one-year master's programs, talk a little bit about our full-time MBA, but this is just a quick snapshot of the graduate programs that we have to offer. Our specialized master's programs do not require professional experience. Our full-time MBA does look for a minimum of 2 years of professional postgraduate work experience. A little bit about the Lead School Business in terms of rankings. We rank as the 65th best graduate business school, really known for entrepreneurship, sustainability. Our faculty rank in the top 25 per faculty research productivity. So just a little bit about us and reasons that students are choosing the Lead School of Business. Quality of faculty in a small classroom environment with this cohort structure that I'll talk a little bit about, meaning you'll start with your class and you'll graduate with your class. So a lot of support within the program to help you be successful, being able to directly work with your faculty, building very strong relationships with your classmates, having a number of resources through our student services team to ensure your success, a full graduate career team to help place you after graduation. Leeds is the 8th oldest business school in the country with 42,000 alumni worldwide and a number of ways to connect with those alumni throughout your time as a student, but also well after graduation, whether that be alumni events or online platforms where you're able to easily just search and find alumni based off who you're looking to connect with. Talk a little bit about our business analytics and supply chain management master's programs. These are 10-month programs that start in July of each year with 2 introductory courses. We do not have required prerequisites. As Scott mentioned, some programs will, some will not. The official language, these will have a technical programming component to them. The official languages that we use are R and Python. A total of 11 classes for 33 credit hours. So you'll have 6 credit hours in the summer, and then 12 credit hours in the fall and 15 credit hours in the spring. We do offer these in an online format and have certificate options as well. The MS in supply chain is really going to combine those operational and foundational supply chain courses like international operations, procurement and contracting, logistics, but then also bringing in the technology side with the analytics and teaching you those technical skills. Really developed to build the skill sets to help manage global supply chains. We have elective options within that, so you're able to customize a little bit. And then for the MS in business analytics, really combining those analytical skills with the insights to be able to make decisions, organize and structure that data to be able to make decisions within 3 different tracks that we offer: decision science, which is a partner with our applied math department; security analytics, which is heavier into Python and looking into large data breaches; and then marketing analytics using tools like Google Analytics and Tableau. And so our students are landing with consulting firms, but also landing with analytic departments and supply chain companies. So they're accelerated programs. They're structured to be rigorous and challenge you, but really help you grow. We have students coming in from all different backgrounds. And then lastly, we'll talk a little bit about these finance and real estate programs when it comes to our specialized masters. These are 2-semester programs, so a 15 credit hour fall and a 15 credit hour spring semester. Our MS in Finance is really going to do a deep dive in both the corporate finance and investment management side. So if you want to go the investment management side or looking to gain your CFA, we would recommend that investment management track. If you're more interested in going the consulting route, we recommend our corporate finance track. And then our MS in real estate is really going to be focused on the financial investment and operational aspects of the real estate industry. So not setting you up to be a real estate agent, but more designed for the commercial real estate industry, aligning you for a wide variety of roles, whether that's in development or investment, or on the financial side or technology side. So a lot of strong corporate partners in these two areas. We have academic centers of excellence that have a board that work directly with our corporate partners and our faculty to ensure that the curriculum is aligned with industry. We have corporate partners recruiting heavily out of our specialized master's programs every year. So I want to highlight something Scott mentioned as well that's really important is with these specialized master's programs, you really just want to ensure that they're setting you up for your goals. And you want to make sure that your goals are direct towards these fields and these industries, because these programs do a great job in setting you up for a career in these fields. But they are so specialized that you want to make sure that your goals are aligned with these industries and that you put a lot of thought into that. Just because these programs are direct and they'll build technical skill sets in these fields and help land you in these fields, but you really want to make sure that your goals are there and that these are the best fit for you. And then our full-time MBA program is a traditional 2-year program. Your first year is your core curriculum. Your second year is your electives. You can fully customize that. We help place you in a summer internship after that first year, total of 55 credit hours over those 2 years. You'll see high graduation rates, cohort structure again. So again, working with you every step of the way. Our programs are structured to be extremely collaborative and have this collaborative and cohesive classroom experience where you'll build really strong relationships with your classmates, faculty, and staff. Just a couple more slides. Application process. So our application is all online. As Scott mentioned, a lot of schools are test optional, and we are for the GMAT or GRE this year due to the pandemic. 2 recommendation letters, personal statement, essay talking about your goals with the program, what you hope to get out of it, why you believe you'd be a good fit for our cohort. A copy of your transcripts, resume, $70 application fee that we'll waive for you for attending. So I'll put my contact information here, and you can just reach out to me if you want to have a one-on-one conversation. You decide to apply, we'll get that application fee waived for you. And then for the MBA programs, we do have an interview process. You'll either be interviewed by a current MBA student or somebody within the admissions committee. For the MS programs, we do not require interviews, but may be requested if we have any additional questions after evaluation. So what are we looking for? Really just wanting to make sure we set you up for success academically and professionally, that this is a good fit for your goals. Really just wanting to get to know you as an applicant, get to hear your story. What leadership experience and value will you add to the cohort? Why would you be a good addition to the class? Really just kind of telling your story throughout the application. So merit-based scholarships, we will do consider everybody for merit-based scholarships automatically with your application. And then we do have a specialized additional scholarship that will require an additional essay for our Native American applicants. It's our Rebecca Adamson Award that we work with. So there's additional funding for you as opportunities as well for you. So all things to consider. We try to take a one-on-one approach to this. So appreciate you taking the time to hear from me today. There's my contact information. Feel free to reach out to me directly, and I'm happy to have a one-on-one conversation with you. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Nate. Did you want me to put my your email in here and add that your if they want to follow up, they can get that?
Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be great.
Great, awesome. Thank you for that information. Our next guest presenter is Jordan with Western Colorado University, and I'm going to highlight a little bit of the activity we've been doing, because I think that this is one of the great thing that you're seeing is that MBAs are not sort of one size fits all, I guess I should say. They're not one type of program. You're realizing there's a lot of programs, but the one thing that I've been working with over the past few years is sort of digging deeper into the outdoor industry. How do Native people show up in that sort of sphere of work? And Scott Borden, who actually was running the program a couple of years ago, I think by himself, but he basically was building the capacity of the institution to sort of develop this outdoor industry MBA program. And, I think that there's something very valuable about, one, how do Native Americans consider the outdoors? And two, how do they take that thinking and incorporate it into the way that business and industry sort of drives that idea? And that seems to be a lot of the work that I've been centering on with the outdoor industry and other industries that support that sort of like conservation and natural resource management. So I'll turn it over to Jordan to talk a little bit about her program.
Okay, thanks, Jack. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, okay, awesome. I have a couple of slides too, so let me share my screen. Are you seeing my screen? Are you seeing my desktop or the slides? My desktop, okay.
The slides.
Oh, you are, okay.
Yeah, and your desktop, I think. Oh, there you are, just the slides now.
Just the slides, okay. Okay, awesome. So my name is Jordan LaRue. I am located here in Gunnison, which is also the location of Western Colorado University. A little bit about Gunnison. We're a small rural town with ranching and mining backgrounds. So there tends to be an entrepreneurial spirit that runs through the town as well as the school. 7,500 people total in Gunnison. That includes an undergraduate population of 3,000 and a graduate population of 300, which most of those graduate students are online students, so they're not here in the Valley. And then the outdoor industry program specifically, we're almost to a 1-to-1 male-female ratio right now, which is pretty exciting because I can't say that is the same as far as employment in the industry, but we're getting there. We're making strides for sure. And our program is about 55% male and 45% female. Small cohort sizes as well as class sizes. So the way that it works is we only have one starting point each year. You start in the fall. And then those other students that you start with, you continue through the 2 years with. So you get to know them pretty well. It's an awesome networking opportunity that is availed to students in that way. As far as the curriculum, it is outdoor industry specific. What that means is that we focus on the companies, the opportunities and the challenges that are specific to the outdoor industry. That includes environmental issues, that includes, like Jack was talking about, sustainability issues, ethical sourcing, inclusive use of land and resources. So there's a lot that's tied up into all of that. And that's not just about business. There's quite a bit more to that. And then as far as, we have 2 tracks in the program. One is specialized to the service industry side of the outdoors, which includes these special courses. And then we also have a product track, which is specialized towards the product sales and supply chain management and product development for the outdoor industry specifically. So one of the, I guess, unique aspects of this, and also one of the ways in which it is outdoor industry specific, is the immersions and the networking opportunities that are available. It is all networking with professionals that are already working in the outdoor industry. So you get a chance to speak and interact with those professionals. And then we have 3 immersions. The first of which is here in Gunnison. We bring all of our students out in order to be able to show them the school, kind of connect with it a little bit, because we are an online program. So you'll be taking all classes online after that. But it gives students a chance to come out, meet each other, meet their cohort, meet their professors. We also, this year, we'll be taking students around to some different outdoor industry businesses around the valley, including some tour companies, as well as some product retailers. And it's meant to kind of introduce you to Gunnison, Western, and the outdoor industry. The second immersion is the Outdoor Retailer Snow Show that's held in Denver, Colorado. We bring students out to Denver, back out to Colorado to Denver. And that's usually the last week of January. It was actually held virtually this year. So students just attended via Zoom. But summer OR, the summer show, is going back to in-person. So fingers crossed that it'll be safe to do it in person next year. And we'll be at the Colorado Convention Center again in January. And then the final immersion, we bring students back out to Gunnison, and that is the week before they graduate. So we hold a capstone presentation week where students present their capstone presentations to faculty, project sponsors, as well as alumni and each other. And I should mention, we have students located all over the country. I think the last time I counted was not 50 states for sure, but we are up to like 20 something now. So the geographic barriers can be overcome. And then we are not a thesis-based program. We are a capstone project-based program. So there's no giant 500-page paper to be written. What you complete over the 2 years is a capstone project. And the idea here is that you're not only that you're going to be gaining project management skills that are going to assist you in your career, as opposed to a thesis paper, which is awesome if you're looking to go in a research-based direction. But our program tends to be student-oriented and career-oriented, in that we're preparing you to enter the business sector of the outdoor industry, as well as we do have some students that are in the government sectors and the nonprofit sectors as well. So as far as an ideal candidate, it would, some of our candidates have 3 years of work experience. We like to see that that's in the outdoor industry, and that's just so that you have a feel for it. You've gotten into it, kind of like the other panelists were saying today. It's a pretty specialized degree. And so you want to make sure that the outdoor industry is where you want to be. So it's good to have a little bit of work experience there and to kind of know what you're getting yourself into, so to speak. And then a bachelor's degree in a business-related field. Not all of our students have a bachelor's degree in business. We do have quite a few applicants that have bachelor's degrees in outdoor education, or outdoor leadership, some economics degrees. So there's definitely a variety as far as where it is that students are coming from. A minimum GPA of 3.0 in your undergraduate. If your undergraduate fell below that, you do have a chance to write an explanation of the GPA and tell us why it is that your undergraduate GPA fell below a 3.0. And then as far as application materials, we have waived the application fee for this year. Our application period is coming to an end in the next month or so, but you do still have a chance to apply this year if you'd like to. Your transcripts, a resume, current resume and cover letter, 2 professional or academic letters of recommendation, and a personal statement. We're not, this is meant to be maybe a page at the most, but just telling us why it is that you're interested in the outdoor industry specifically, why it is that you want an MBA in that, and an idea that you might have for the capstone project, or maybe a direction that you want to move in with that. And we do provide quite a bit of support with that capstone project. So you are assigned a faculty advisor who helps you over the 18-month course of that project, as well as you'll have a project sponsor with the organization that you're doing the project with. And then we also have professional development funds available to hire a consultant, a specialized consultant, if that's needed in order to complete the project. So we want to make sure that students feel supported and have the resources that they need to really make the most out of that project. It's very personalized, it's specialized for each student. The idea is that you're able to work on something that is going to help fulfill your career goals. But we do provide as much support as we can with that. This is a look at our tuition and fees. These have not changed since the program came into existence. We're in our 3rd year now, and these haven't changed since then, but are subject to change. And then we have some fellowships and scholarships available as well. These are all fellowships and scholarships that are available only to our outdoor industry MBA students, aside from the graduate school Dean's Impact Award. That one is for all graduate students at Western, not just the MBA program students. So you have a chance to apply for some additional funding or financial resources if needed. And I think that's it. Does that cover everything?
Yes, I think it does. Great. Thank you very much, Jordan. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We have one more presenter, and then I'm going to either solicit questions or ask it myself. So Sogol, if you could go next, that would be great.
Hi, everyone. It's so nice to meet everyone. I'm super excited to be here. I wanted to share my screen as well. I know going last is always the hardest one because everyone's absolutely overloaded with some information. So I'm going to be as fun as possible. So that way we will be able to kind of work together here. So hold on for me just a moment. It looks like I just got logged out of my own presentation. Bear with me, but I really wanted to, help you guys understand a little bit more about our school, Thunderbird School of Global Management, in a variety of different ways. And okay, it looks like I'm back here. So let's start a journey together because I am so excited to know that we can allocate a certain number of students from all walks of life into our program. And That's why we're here today. So I may not be looking for all of you, but some of you today are just going to be so excited about this program, and this is why we're here. So Thunderbird School of Global Management, just to make it simple, has one specialized master's degree program. I'm not going to bombard you with anything else today, and we're going to focus on the full-time option. And then if my students want the online options, we'll take a crack at that as well. But we are looking at a school that was built right after World War II with the one sole idea, which is to build a program that develops international managers. That was the goal, and that's still the goal, to be able to do that. So what you're particularly seeing here in general, that after 75 years of coming through this type of program, you are getting the opportunity to really encounter a whole bunch of different folks who are learning what to do to navigate this crazy technological world where we're now calling it the fourth industrial revolution. And these are my students pre-COVID that are from different sectors and backgrounds, and they are private, public, social sectors, everywhere, that were doing their internship with a local Avis car rental company in another country. So that way you'll know that we are focused on a global perspective, and that's the type of student that we're going to be focusing on during our application process, who would be considered for this type of program. So in the specialized rankings for global business, to be exact, we are number 1. So it is a very, very good program, but I don't want you to be scared about, oh my God, I don't qualify. No, stop that. Don't think about that at all, because we have allocated spots for people from 35 different countries and places and ethnicities within all of our program. And so I want you to come and apply. That's why I'm here. So I don't want you to think about the competitiveness only. It's more about the topic that I want you to fall in love with. And of course, we're part of ASU, Arizona State University, which is already number 1 as the most innovative public university in the United States. So this is where it gets exciting, because this university is completely changing its model to become more transdisciplinary. So if you're in agriculture department, talks to business, talks to sustainability, talks to public policy. Why? Because problems are getting complex. And you, as our future leaders, are here to understand how to be able to solve these problems together. So that way we will feel comfortable basically saving the world. And so we have some cool alums. 23% are outside the US, the rest are still inside the United States. But the point is that you got people from all over the world to become your network. And that means a person and having a couch in every country. That sounds pretty cool. So when I travel, I go to a particular alumni chapter locally in that city to find my Thunderbirds and be able to hang out, have a drink, see what's going on, and be able to move on and recruit from that region. So we do what we preach. So yes, we are located in Phoenix, Arizona, but we have offices all over the world. So this is a snapshot of what that means. We help with internships, consulting programs, thought leadership, alumni engagement, everything that can get you jobs and opportunities to be able to expand your awareness. Remember, from the clothes on your back to the phones that you carry, they are made in a different country. If you want to understand what that particularly means, this is the type of program that's going to teach you how to do this. So what does a new leader look like, actually? I want to know. So starting from the bottom up, you're looking at a problem solver, being empathetic, interdisciplinary, adaptable, creative, lifelong learner, global mindset, people who can interpret data and have technical skills. So much. I know it's overwhelming, but absolutely possible, because that's the benefit and the charm of human beings. We're multifaceted people, and I know you can get there. but I'm trying to expand your awareness about possible horizons that you may not have thought about. Do you remember I told you we have people from all over the world? This is the slide to prove it. And that's why I'm really excited to make sure that you know this is a possibility for you. And that's why we're here, because we really want to make sure you are represented in this mix of people, so we can diversify our classrooms, make it more dynamic, people to understand your, particular social issues that happen in your space versus others in their space, so we can all collectively become comrades and help each other throughout all the business problems that we have around the world. So yes, we have good employment. If you're looking for opportunities inside or outside the US, global placement is our goal. So we have nonprofit organizations, private companies, and of course, social sector. So it all depends on what you would like to do in your life and what access you would like to do. Because remember, folks, US is a landlocked type of country. Yes, you can go to Mexico. However, unlike Europe, where you can drive 4 hours to get to another country, you need to go through higher education to access the global marketplace in this regard. So these are the universities that really support in this assistance to be able to figure out what that particularly looks like. So like I said, just to make this a little bit fun, we are located in downtown Phoenix, but I recently got a particular short video about inside our building that I thought you guys would have so much fun looking at. So I'm going to share that as an alternative form of explaining this particular program and get you excited about this brand new building that we're coming up with in June 2021. And we're going to move in here shortly. So let's take a look at inside of it. All right. So basically, what you just saw was the future in reality, because we are trying to focus on looking at all the technological advancements that is absolutely possible for students to get access to inside this technological disruption that we're dealing with in our society under the name of Fourth Industrial Revolution. And what we're trying to do is incorporate these tools within the building that you are going to be studying in to be able to understand it, practice with it. So when you go and launch yourself in any type of industry, you know what are the maximum capabilities that that company should or could have. So I'm always excited when I see that video. I hope this was very exciting for you as well. But that's basically where we're coming from. So if you are currently thinking about a master's degree program, our Master of Global Management is specialized because we're going to be teaching, in addition to business classes, political science and economics and cross-cultural negotiation classes. So it's kind of a mix between international relations and international business to become more well-rounded leader. Because as you can imagine, just like your context matters, all context matters when you're trying to do business in your situation. And when you're only isolating it to just the topic or business itself, it's not good enough. We need people to understand and communicate with each other effectively. So this program starts August and in January. We're open to both. It's in Phoenix, but like I said, we'll talk about our international opportunities. We don't require any work experience in this program. So if you're a recent graduate, you are welcome to come into this opportunity straight ahead. Why? Because we have cohorts. Some people who have work experience, some people who don't have work experience. And that allows us to be able to accommodate different services for each of you and not feel intimidated by each other. Like, oh, I'm competing against the person who has 10 plus years of work experience. Not happening here. We do, however, would love for you to take some sort of second language course. So this is going to be an opportunity for you to think about maybe Chinese or Spanish or French, just something that will get you to stand out in the marketplace. But if you want to test out on any of your local languages, you're welcome to do that as well. But I just wanted to share the possibilities here for you. So remember, we said how it's more experiential. So after the first year is done, in your summer, you're going to be doing an internship. So that way you will figure out with your career coach what type of companies that you could be interested in. And when you come back, you know, this is your US experience. But when you come back in your third semester, we're looking at consulting opportunities. So companies come to us, they say, we have a business problem, we need your students. We basically find 5 students per project and ship you to the country wherever the company is located to consult for that company and figure out, like Sherlock Holmes, what is the possible solution to this dilemma that they're having and present to them after that 3 weeks is done. Why is this important? Because you want to confidently tell your future employer that you have what it takes to be able to be part of the Thunderbird community and the global, company that they are participating in. So this is really great resume builder. Now, if you think about it, it's all different types of companies, small, large, medium, small, startup companies that come to us, governments sometimes tap into us. So if you're looking for a particular type of option, you can share your preference, and that's going to be something that we'll be happy to help you with. Now, again, remember I told you it's not just about business programs in the yellow on the top, it's all about the psychological capital. If you are talking to another type of person, right, from another country, how would you be able to understand that opportunity, right? When they're from different cultures and backgrounds, or how can you negotiate with them and how can you make that interpersonal impact? So what is the diplomatic way of going about doing things, right? Again, broader training in order for you to have maximum impact, because I can guarantee you right now, the majority of my Americans and my Native Americans do not have this training. So when you come in with this type of training, that you will stand out in interviews, because not only do you have a work visa to work in the United States, but now you can talk to international clients. What? Let's pay him more. Let's pay her more, because this is absolutely what they're looking for in order to make sure they can successfully run their businesses in multiple locations, right? And who doesn't want to be paid more money, right? But it's a personality type. It's about you liking the fact that you want to be in this space, right? You want to get out of your comfort zone. So few traditions that we have: regional night, which talks about a region of the world, and then we celebrate it through song, dance, and food. Not bad, right? Goes along with the theme. Flag parade, everybody holds their country flag to represent what the country that holds and represents them. Foundations is orientation. Homecoming allows you to celebrate coming back each semester. And for my entrepreneurs out there, if you would like to specifically get some money for your business ideas, we have it and we will share it with you. First Tuesdays is definitely our happy hour sessions, first Tuesdays every month. Scholarships. Yes, we are very generous. So please do not hesitate to provide us a reason on why you're awesome so we can give you money, period. And my team is supposed to help you with that. So the more handsome you look, the more pretty you look, the more it turns into dollar signs, right? And that's where my team and I help. So you're not applying to the black hole. You are going to get support in this regard. So that way we will be able to figure out how to maximize your opportunity. Now, but that's not all. Students do work part-time 20 hours a week during the program. So if you are interested in being able to come here and figuring out how to pay for your living expenses, that's already a well-paved path. And second-year students can reapply for scholarships based on their GPA at Thunderbird and their leadership opportunities that they've joined in on in the first year. So it's a build-up on how you can get support in different ways, in addition to your own personal funding opportunities. So we're looking at academics, we're looking at previous work and leadership experiences, but more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking for the student who has a desire to want to access the global marketplace, right? I can't teach that. I can't sell you why global is cool. You kind of have to come in with it. And so when you have that personal, intellectual type of curiosity, then we're here to enhance it. So again, I'm just looking for a few of you out there that I know that is so excited to contact me after this presentation. And I just want to end with our wonderful career statistics. We're wonderful at placing people all over the world. It's just a matter of what you are interested in and where you want to go based on that. So this is kind of my cheat sheet list of trying to identify if you are one of these types of students, based on what you feel like, as if this program aligns with who you are. And as you read this list and see, yes, that's me, I want this, I want that, I want to have access to this, then this potentially could be the best program for you out there. Now, admission-wise, just like everyone else, for the most part, and we're just really happy to help you in this process. I really, like I said, wouldn't stress more about it. It's just a matter of going through submitting multiple applications to maximize your chances. And this could be one of them with us. So you've heard it too many times from past presenters. I just want to list it here and just be like, hey, it's absolutely possible for you to get all this opportunity. And for my online students, if you can't come in person, we know we have the online version of it called the Master of Applied Leadership and Management. This is available in multiple start times. So I just wanted to kind of end with that and obviously answer any type of questions you guys may have.
Great, thank you so much. I'm so glad you were able to participate today. I actually was considering Thunderbird for my master's, and I chose another program, but still may consider it as a second master's program. I do have one question, and the person who asked it unfortunately has left the conversation today. Let me double check to see if he's back in the room. And it was from Marina. So this, I'm still going to ask you, Marina. His question was basically, are there any Native Americans in the research community, and are there any Native Americans in your PhD program currently right now?
So currently we do not have Native American students in our PhD programs, but we did have in the past. In terms of faculty, I know we are working hard on attracting more PhD students to have Native American faculty, but I don't know of any that we do have.
Okay, great. I will actually connect you to him. Johnny Buck is also one of the College Fund's ambassadors, and he is finishing up some of his programming at, I think it's Northwest Indian College right now, so it'd be great. Any other
Yeah, great.
questions from the students, attendees? Before we head out, this is again, as everyone has mentioned, a lot of information, very useful, very powerful, and just great for all of you to sink your teeth in. I think that, you know, the things that I like to point out before we close, there are people that are hired to help you be successful at one, applying to these programs, and two, to complete them. And also know that there are also people who are hired to make sure that you complete your programming. And so that's not, you know, you may feel alone for sure at times, but you know, I think that some of the programming and the way that we think about it, know your strengths and your weaknesses, and as you have your conversations with these admin people, like, be very honest about that with yourself, and then they'll be able to tell you like whether this is the program that's going to be right for you or not, because the most important part of this is that you are the one who is really deciding on where you're going to show up. And I think that that's critical. And just sort of like, if you need more support and you need people around you that look like you, let them know. And then, you know, it's not necessarily that they're going to tell you that we can't be helpful, but they might be able to give you some resources in reference to who to consider. You know, cohort programs are emerging across all of these graduate programs, specifically in the business space. I went through a program, it was a 2-year cohort program. None of them were native, which, you know, was fine. But I was very thankful. You know, Rachel mentioned that she's excited about having the 11 or 7 graduate. Like, we started out with 26, and there were, I believe, 17 of us that made it through the full 2 years. So, you know, there is some challenges that emerge. And I'm going to say this too, because I believe that the business programs and graduate programs in general, if you are honest about like your situation and how life is pushing you into a different, you know, career track or life track, let them know, and they sometimes will learn to be flexible to that, you know, because I think that that is the super emergent practice. I've seen more and more that as you begin to think about your completion, like, graduate programs are not like undergrad programs. We don't necessarily need you to complete, you know, as you can see, in 4 years, but we just need you to finish and make sure that you're sort of like getting to your goals, you know. And if you need to withdraw, like, the people, you know, it's alluded to, the people in graduate programs are not necessarily going to be younger. They're going to be more seasoned in reference to work experience. They're going to be probably a little older, and they're going to have just enough curiosity to drive them to be annoyingly aggressive in what they want to learn and know. And I think that's super powerful, because it's one of those situations where graduate programs are you're surrounding yourself with people who are probably like you and trying to dig deeper. So I think that we've got a variety of different topics in reference to what business degree programs can look like when you get to the graduate level. And as you dig deeper, you know, like, the outdoor industry is a very specific track, and I'm glad that Jordan pointed it out. This is what we do, you know. And then even Sogol was saying, like, that this is what we do, you know. And Nate and Marina and even Rachel probably have a broader, but they offer a variety of different programs that dig deeper into specific, you know, components of what we're looking at when we're thinking about a business structure. You know, business structures are not like, well, business programs are probably not like law programs, because everyone's training you how to be a lawyer. Business programs, I feel, I'll let everybody comment on this before we close up, but business programs are training you how to be like change agents and people, like how to manage people and problem solving in both of those components, which we all know people are very difficult. And so it's a lot of like the way that sort of comes to fruition. You know, the thing that I thought was pretty groovy about the Thunderbird, like, they actually incorporate culture, like, specifically. We celebrate culture by having these cultural nights. Like, that is really cool. And it's not that all schools should do that, but it's like, if that's something that you think that you want and you need, then seek them out, because their programs are all out there that are going to be supportive on a variety of different levels. So let me see if there's any questions, because I thought there were a couple things. Yes, Zoom does need a like button. So, Anything else that you guys want to wrap up? We were 3 minutes over, but if you're any last minute things that you want to share.
Jack, actually, there's one thing that I would like to share. And I did discuss being small, but like you had touched on, that we have great support services. On a yearly basis, we have 300 to 350 students a year, which we have around 70 people that work for our small tribal college. So students are very much considered part of our family, and we have a lot of one-on-one support. And there are numerous, tribes that are relatively small, and some students like to move to a larger area, experience the larger college, but there's also those students who are very intimidated. So, with our situation, we are very much there to help the students succeed, and we have a very good support system. So I just wanted to emphasize that a little bit in wrapping up today.
Great, thank you, Rachel. And that was Rachel Kuntz with Sitting Bull College MBA program. Anybody else have anything to add? Great. You all have been wonderful, and I appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your knowledge and your skills and all of the things that you bring with you as you come together. And Marina, I'll connect you to Johnny. And again, I put emails and stuff, and I'll be following up. Presenters, if you have anything that you want to share, your slides, send them to me, and we'll send them out to all of the attendees today. All right. Well, thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.